how Honda quietly held back the K20A to protect its image. So, it's December 2001. Inside a Honda R&D facility in Tochigi, Japan, 3 senior engineers are sitting in a sealed dyno room, just staring at numbers they were never meant to see. On the test stand is a K20A prototype that has just finished its 200th full-throttle dyno pull, back-to-back, with no cooldowns, and honestly, no mercy at all. Nothing failed, nothing weakened, and, yeah, the power output flashing on the screen reads 287 horsepower, naturally aspirated, from just 2 liters. That's over 140 horsepower per liter, an almost unthinkable figure back in 2001. The lead engineer, Tetsuya Yamamoto, reaches over and hits the emergency shutdown, not because something went wrong, but honestly, because something went way too right. We can't release this. Not like this. The others don't argue. They already understand why. Because sitting in showrooms across the United States is the Honda S2000, Honda's pride and joy, making 240 horsepower from its F20C. And above it all is the Honda NSX, their Halo supercar, producing 290 horsepower from a 3-liter V6. If Honda released the K20A at its true potential, they wouldn't just outperform rivals. They would destroy their own lineup with an engine intended for a Civic. I mean, imagine a front-wheel drive, affordable car humiliating Honda's icons. So Honda made a decision that would frustrate enthusiasts for decades. They didn't weaken the K20A through bad engineering. Nope, they strategically suffocated it. This is the story of how Honda created one of the greatest 4-cylinder engines ever built, then deliberately held it back to protect its reputation. And, well, why the truth stayed hidden until internal documents leaked years later. To understand why Honda limited the K20A, you have to understand what came before it. VTEC wasn't just a technology, it was an identity. When Honda introduced VTEC in 1989 with the B16A, it totally rewrote expectations. Here was an engine that behaved like a tame commuter at low RPM, then transformed into a race motor at high revs. The B16A made 160 horsepower from 1.6 liters, naturally aspirated, at a time when honestly, most 4-cylinders barely cracked 100. High revs, razor-sharp throttle response, and that unmistakable mechanical scream when VTEC engaged. Honda, built a whole culture around it. The Integra Type R, the Civic Si, the S2000 with its 9,000 RPM redline. Every performance Honda, really, followed the same philosophy: extreme efficiency through RPM. But by the late 1990s, Honda had a problem. They had set the bar way too high. Each new engine had to be lighter, faster, and more advanced than the last. Enthusiasts just expected constant escalation. But, physics doesn't care about brand reputation. Valve springs, piston speed, and bearing life all have limits, and the F20C was already brushing right up against them. Going higher wasn't just costly, it was dangerous. So Honda changed tactics. Instead of chasing more RPM, they chased perfection. They decided to build an engine that made power through airflow, combustion efficiency, and structural strength, not just sheer revs. That engine became the K-Series, and its crown jewel was the K20A. So, K-Series development actually began way back in 1998 with a pretty straightforward mission in mind: replace the aging B-Series and meet those new, stricter emissions standards. But honestly, Yamamoto's team, they wanted more than just a replacement. They were after dominance. And, Honda was doing really well at the time. thanks to the CRV and Accord, so they approved this enormous budget. Management had just one directive for the team: make it indestructible. The result? It was, well, an engineering masterpiece. They went with an aluminum block, using an open deck design to help with cooling. Then, iron sleeves were pressed in for durability. There was this rigid bed plate that tied the main bearings directly to the transmission housing. And yeah, they used a forged steel crankshaft plus forged, shot-peened connecting rods. The pistons? Super low friction, with molybdenum-coated skirts. Every single rotating part was balanced to, honestly, some absurd tolerances. And then, there was the cylinder head. We're talking dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, and a totally redesigned VTEC system that controlled both intake and exhaust. They used CNC machined intake ports, and the combustion chambers were actually shaped using computational fluid dynamics, which was honestly cutting-edge tech back in the early 2000s. The end result? Nearly 87% volumetric efficiency at peak power. That's really flirting with Formula One territory for a production engine. When Honda installed the K20A into a Civic test mule and ran it at Suzuka, the lap times were actually faster than the Integra Type R, the benchmark of front-wheel drive performance. A family car had just outperformed Honda's Legend. That's when management stepped in. March 2001. Honda's executive board gathers for a routine quarterly review. On the agenda, K-Series progress. Yamamoto presents the data. The standard K20A produces 220 horsepower at 8,200 RPM. The Type S version, with higher compression and revised cams, makes 237. And the prototype, running aggressive cams and individual throttle bodies, makes 287 horsepower. Silence fills the room. Then executive Takeo Fukui asks the obvious question, how much power does the S2000 make? Yamamoto replies, 240 horsepower, from 2 liters. Fukui asks, and the NSX? Yamamoto answers, 290, from 3 liters. Fukui continues, so you're telling me we're about to release a Civic engine with higher specific output than our flagship supercar? Yamamoto just nods. Fukui says, that would make the S2000 irrelevant. Another nod. Honda had spent millions marketing the S2000 as the ultimate naturally aspirated sports car. Dealers had wait lists. Buyers were paying over MSRP, and now Honda was about to undercut it with a cheaper car. The fallout would be brutal. So Fukui made the call, limit it, I don't care how. The K20A cannot exceed the F20C, and it must never approach NSX numbers. Yamamoto protested. The engine was safe. Testing proved it, but Fukui cut him off. I didn't say it can't, I said it won't. The meeting ended. In Japan, the most powerful K20A made 220 horsepower. In the